Happy Friday, guys. I'm Vanessa.
I'm Eliana. You can say Happy Friday.
My names are every Friday. Happy Friday.
Oh, you're fucking right.
We are your Vibe Tribe,
a place for the girls.
Join us every Friday where we talk about relationships, dating,
pop culture, and absolute randomness. Hello, guys. Happy Friday.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday. I'm so excited for today's podcast. Just wanted to already let you guys know.
I love that. Actually, me too. We're bringing on a very special guest. It's actually Vanessa. Well, I don't know if you want to say this, but it's Vanessa's cousin.
One of my favorite people in this entire world is coming on, and I'm so excited because literally, if I can be a person, like if I can come back to life and be a person, it would probably be her. So,
yeah, I feel like you've talked about her a lot. So I feel like I know like a gist of who she is, but I've never met her. Like I've never seen her at all. So I'm like very interested to see like how like your description of her actually like holds up to how she is in real life.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Literally can't contain myself.
Same. But before we get into the interview, which is going to be amazing, so definitely stay tuned to listen. But we are going to be doing questions of the week, which it's just going to be questions that our listeners send to us, either directly to us on Instagram or on our podcast IG.
And please keep sending us questions because I just love getting questions. So
about anything, like it can literally be if
or
you need relationship advice, stories, like just like secrets, anything that you want to tell us, please tell us. But if you have questions, Vanessa also has started her own business. She knows so much information about that. I'm currently working on stuff too. So if you have questions about like just, I guess, getting started on Instagram, doing a YouTube channel, starting a blog, so many things that I feel like we actually know about and can give you advice on. Or even if you're interested in starting your own podcast and you're curious on how to do that, then ask us and we'll answer your questions.
Yeah, honestly, I am always seeking information and I love when people just like tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like when you like want to know something and it's just like so easily like laid out for you. So use me guys for that. If you guys are literally trying to start a business, like obviously can't give legal advice, but I can tell you like my steps and what I did. And, you know, maybe that will help you. But
or just tips and things like that. But anyway, we do have our first question, which I was really excited about. So, and obviously this person has asked to remain anonymous, so we won't be sharing their information. Okay, so someone DM'd me on Instagram and asked what was the hardest part about starting our podcast. So I have my answer, but Vanessa, do you want to answer it first?
Yeah, honestly, wow. I really don't feel like there was anything hard about starting a podcast because I feel like we're both very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like spontaneous and like driven and like we'll like throw an idea. I'll be like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like there was anything hard. I think the hardest thing about like having a podcast is just like consistency and making sure you have time, to put quality work out there. And sometimes it's hard when, like obviously you have a million things going on in your life. So I feel like just balancing that out and keeping your energy good to like record is probably the hardest thing, at least for me.
Yeah. I think honestly, with anything, the hardest part is just like getting started. Like I feel like a lot of people talk about it and they're like, oh, I have this great idea. But then to actually like do it and put it into practice, I feel like that was just the hardest part. So if you have an idea and you want to start a podcast, just do it. Like sit down, figure out what you want to do, why it's important, what value you're going to bring, and then just do it. Like it's really not that hard.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like a lot of the times we overthink things, especially me, because you guys literally know how I am. So Eliana's really good about that. She's more of like, just do it. Like don't overthink it. So that's honestly worked a lot for me. Like even being more present on like social media and stuff. Obviously thanks to her, because she like pushed me to do that. So just, yeah, honestly, just
like dragged, but
right, literally just, or you can find someone who like keeps you, what's the word? Like how you do to me, you keep me
I check you. I'm just
Right.
like, hey, what's
What is
going
that
on?
word? Like keeping you
I don't
like
know. Keeping you
God,
in check is that sounds rude. No, that's not the right word. I don't know.
keeping
Keeping you
you.
grounded? I don't know.
The word is literally on the top, like the tippy top of my tongue, and I can't like think about it.
I don't know.
Um, Keeping you like not in check, but like accountable. That's the word.
Oh, that's a good word. That's true. We do.
Accountability.
I feel like we both hold each other accountable though,
Right.
because like when we're slacking off, we're like, damn, you're right. Like I should be doing this. And then you tell me, you're like, I did this week for my stuff. I'm like, holy shit, I should be doing that too. And then I feel like we keep like each other both like
Yeah.
accountable. Yeah, that's true.
Guys, I want you to give a special welcome to one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. This is my cousin Dianita. Say hi.
Hello. How's everybody?
I'm so excited. I think I'm the most excited person to have her on the podcast.
Let's see
Like
how
ever.
excited she is. Let's see how she's startless. Let's see. Introduce me.
I just want to say
Guys,
you have a lot to live up to. She said a lot of amazing things. So I'm so excited to get to know you.
Oh my
I just want to
God.
pause. I just want to
What
pause for
have
a
you
moment
said?
because she was literally like, "Let's see what you have to say" or whatever. Like that's a typical Scorpio remark. I just want everyone to keep that in mind before this podcast starts. Do you guys remember the last episode where I talked about astrology and zodiac signs and how half my family was Scorpios? Here's part of my family, a Scorpio.
That's your karma. And you have to live with it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited. Let's dive right in. I know Eliana has a lot of questions because she doesn't really know her. So let's do it.
Well, I mean, honestly, first you can just like introduce yourself. So just like introduce yourself to our listeners, tell us about yourself, whatever that means to you,
This feels
or a
like
little
I'm in a
bio.
classroom in elementary school. Like, go
But tell
ahead,
us who
introduce
you are.
yourself. Well, really, I don't know how to start. Like, I'm from Venezuela. I
Yes, we love that.
yeah, I moved to the United States like 5 years ago. It wasn't my plan, I have to say. I got here, I was supposed to be on vacation for 6 months, and then all of this suddenly everything turns out and Venezuela got really bad, and everybody has like start telling me like you have to stay, you can go back. From here you can like help your family, like build a better future for yourself. And I was like, no, I want to go back to my country.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, so I stayed, especially because my aunt, Vanesita's grandma,
Hmm.
she was super scared of me going back because she was like, if you go back, they're not gonna let you out ever again, and you can get killed over there. Like, just stay. And she like started crying. Well, you know how your grandma is.
Like begging you to stay.
She was really worried. In fact, I'm here because of her. Like, she really helped me when I decided that
Wow.
I was, in fact, staying. But it was pretty crazy, you know. I came here with um, one suitcase,
Oh my
a
gosh.
carry-on, actually, a carry-on. And even when I
That's
was
crazy.
walking through customs, the lady there was like, "So you're staying 6 months?" And I'm like, "Yes." And that's all you have? That's your suitcase? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, and what are you planning to do? Like, are you gonna wear your clothes over and over again? And I was like, yes. That's why people have washing machines. I mean,
She's like interrogating you.
yeah,
Oh
totally. And I
my
was like,
gosh.
man, I'm gonna do shopping.
You should tell them
That's
about how
crazy.
when you initially got here, she was so paranoid about
Oh
everything
yes, I
because
was so
so
paranoid
long
because I
living in
was so used
Venezuela.
to
Wait, how
Venezuela.
old were you when you moved from Venezuela
Here,
to yeah, to the US?
I was 33. I'm
Wow, so
38.
like you're basically like starting over. Like that must have been like a really
Exactly.
hard
I'm like
decision.
starting over. Yes. Because, over there I had everything, my house, my apartment, my clinic, my family. And it was like a pretty rough decision, and it had to be made like on the spot. So. Wasn't easy.
Wow. So you said you have a clinic. So what do you do? Can you tell the listeners like what you
I'm
do?
I'm an ophthalmologist. I did a fellowship in oculoplastics and orbital surgery. And
Wow, okay.
here I work as the assistant of a retina specialist because I have no US
Okay.
license to work as a doctor.
Right. Wow. So obviously when you were deciding to move here, you had to like think about all of that, like, wow, am I gonna start
Yeah,
all
at the
over again?
beginning, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna sell bubble gum at the
Yeah.
Yankee Stadium. Whatever. I'll do whatever. I'll do like what is it? Windsurf lessons in Miami. Whatever. Like I don't care if I
Yeah.
can't be a doctor anymore, so be it. But I was trying to find a regular job
Mm-hmm.
after I did all my paperwork and stuff. And when I got my work permit,
Yeah.
I was going for a bakery, like to work at the cashier at a bakery. And that
Yeah.
day, my dad called me and he was like, go see this friend of mine. She's a doctor. She did her residency in Venezuela like you, ophthalmology also. She can like explain to you a little bit more how it is to get the boards over there so you can be a doctor. And I was like, I know about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to see this lady at the end of Florida so she can tell me something that I already know. But my dad was like,
Yeah.
it's my friend. I told her you were going. You have to go. And I'm like, okay, I'll go. So I couldn't make it to the interview at the bakery because I went over to see
Hmm.
her. And when I got there, she was seeing my curriculum. She was like, so what are you gonna do here? And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go work in a bakery, try to help over there in the cashier. Like, hi, customer, what do you want for breakfast today? And she was like, are you
Yeah.
crazy? You should go to Bascom Palmer with this. And I'm like, okay, but I don't have a license. I can work, but I don't have a license. And then she was like, do you want to work with me? And I was like, ah, say
Yeah.
that again. Yeah. And she was like, well, yeah, I have to like talk to the manager and see what he would think, but I think it would be like super great if we could work together. And I was like, can't be. Like, I'm gonna be
Wow.
here working like not only in medicine, but in my field. I
Right.
was like, this is probably not gonna happen because I can't be like that lucky. But it
Yeah.
did happen. And as long as I live there in Florida, I work with her. Seeing
Wow.
patients regularly at the beginning, I guess like everybody else, when you start and you're new people in a job, she was like very, she got like an eye on me to make sure that I knew my stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
once she realized that I knew what I was doing, she was like, she let me loose, like do whatever. And then she even came
Yeah.
and asked me like, what do you think about this case? We should do this or we should do that. It was super fun. Yeah.
Wow. And where are you now? Are you still living in Florida?
No, I'm right now living in New York.
Wow. Wait, what part of New York?
I work in Manhattan, but I live in
Holy
Astoria.
crap.
Yeah.
Astoria. Wait, so that's crazy. So how did you like Venezuela is very different from New York. I mean, I don't know what part of Venezuela are you from? It's like was it that kind of like a
Yeah.
culture shock?
Actually, no. I mean, Caracas is very much like New York in the good years. In the bad
Okay.
years, not so much. Or in the bad years, you could say
Yeah.
probably much like New York in the 70s or the 80s when the city was
Okay.
horrible.
Yeah.
But I actually grew up on an island in Venezuela. It's called Margarita Island. So it's very
Okay,
chill.
yeah.
It's all like beachy vibes. That's what I thought when I got to Miami, that I was like, this is gonna be my place. I'm a beach people.
Yeah.
I'm from the Caribbean. Like, bring it on. And in Miami, I had even friends from high school and from Venezuela, and I hated it. I love my
Hmm.
friends, but I hated Miami. I was like, I don't want to live here. Like, it was a weird vibe. I didn't feel like I was in my place. So I
I feel like
started like,
there's such a fusion. Like there's so many different
mm,
countries there that is that why?
I don't know. I can't like put a finger on it, but it's because it's not. I thought, Latin, Caribbean,
Hmm.
what could go wrong?
Right.
But I don't know. Just I felt off. It wasn't my place. As Vanesita, I used to
Fair
go like
enough.
every weekend. I like 5 p.m. on a Friday, and I was on a train to go to Port St. Lucie every
Yes.
Oh my God,
weekend.
you like wanted to get out.
That was
I
my
didn't
favorite
like,
time of my life.
I don't know. I mean, it's not that I didn't have friends or plans, because we go out and, Miami's an amazing city, but it's just not for me.
So you like Manhattan more?
I love Manhattan. I mean, I got here and everybody was like, "Oh, how's the, transition period? Are you getting used to it?" And I was like, I got here used to it. Day one, I got here and I feel like I was in my place. Like,
Wow, that's crazy.
subway, excellent for me. The only thing that I complain nonstop, and Vanesita knows about that, it's the freaking weather.
Yes.
Really?
The
Because it's so
cold
cold.
weather. I mean, if I didn't love this city that much, I would kill myself. When I moved here, I had a friend living here, and she was like, because I was like, I've been thinking of moving here, but I'm not gonna move here if I don't find a job first. Because I mean, I'm not that crazy. And I was like, but the only thing holding me back is the winter. Like, I can barely do Florida winter. I cannot do, New York winter. And she was like,
Yeah.
no, how would you say that? The winter is only 3 months. That's go by so fast. She is a liar. She is a
Yeah,
liar.
no.
Okay,
How
so the
long?
winter here for me, for somebody who comes from a country that's 90 degrees all year round, winter here lasts for me 8 months.
Oh my gosh.
And it's
No
horrible.
way.
Like I got six
Yeah,
weeks during summer to go to the beach, and I go every single weekend because that's all I can get in a year.
that sounds miserable. I'm so sorry.
What? I
I
mean,
thought
8 months of
so.
winter is horrible.
I'm gonna insert. I thought she was gonna end up in Chicago because she loves Chicago. I thought she was gonna end up moving there.
So you're
But it
just
I
a
looks like
love
city
she.
Chicago.
girl, is the vibes that I'm getting. You're just a city girl.
But it's so weird because I grew up in this small town that I didn't want to move out, and I love my town.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, really.
So I guess what was like the biggest transition for you? Like what was the hardest part of like leaving everything behind and starting over again?
The hardest part was 100% living my family. That's the hard, because I mean, it's not the language, it's not the work, it's not the material things. Just being like away from my family, like in my all-time friends, that's the worst
Yeah.
part. But if you look at as like a general thing, everybody in Venezuela is going through that. Everybody's
Yeah.
like scattered all around the world. Families are break apart. Friends are like one is in Australia, other one is in Madrid, and
Yeah.
so it's just not me. But I would say that for me, that's the hardest part.
I think it's like really powerful that you had to start all over again because I feel like people are just afraid of even like doing anything. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, I'm 35. Like, how am I going to start going to school or how am I going to do this?" And it's like it's never too late to start over. Life goes on and like you can keep going.
And I
You
think
just have to
that
do it.
wasn't an issue for me because, like I said, I was like, fuck it. I just sell bubble gum at the Yankee Stadium. I just teach
Yeah.
windsurf lessons in Miami Beach. Like, I don't care.
Hmm.
Like, I'll work, retailer, whatever. Just if this is what I have to do and this is it,
Yeah.
I have to leave my country. What can I do? I was just
Right.
like in a mental state of like go with the flow. This is what's
Yeah.
happening right now. Like life wants you to stay here. Okay, so let's stay and let's see how it goes.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, but
Do you have
everybody
any
was like
questions?
in Venezuela, they were all calling me crazy. Like, how
Oh,
dare
I'm
you? Like
sure.
you have a whole career ahead of you. Like you're in a super good spot. in your career right now? Because I was super good. I was even giving conference at the National Ophthalmology Congress and stuff. And they were like,
Oh,
you're
wow.
crazy. You cannot leave this, like everything behind, the patients, the clinic. And I'm like, look, I mean, the country is falling apart. What can I do? And then even when I was in Miami and I decided to move here to New York, also everybody was like, you cannot
I
make it
know.
there. New York is hard. New York is expensive. That's not for you. You're crazy. How do you, I mean, where do you come up with that idea? Don't do that. And I was like, and everybody was like, you're gonna get like kicked in the butt and be back here in Florida in 2 months. And I'm like, well, let's see. We'll see.
Let's see. I love that. Like, okay, let's see.
I told Eliana, I don't know if your views are still the same, but I think it's very interesting because, a lot of women don't. I mean, actually, let me reiterate that a lot of women can have the same like views, but a lot of women are like scared to talk about it. So I know because obviously you're my cousin that you've never wanted to have kids or be married.
That that is 100% true. I do not want to have kids. I do not want to get married. And again, everybody gives crap about that shit every day. Like, why not? Why not? You should have one. You should have one. You should be a good mom. You should be an excellent mom. Everybody says that they don't want to, but at the end, when you get older, guess what? I'm older. I still don't want to. I just don't want to. Mira, life is different for everybody. For some people, certain career is better than other. Certain city is better than other. So motherhood is not for everybody.
That's
And I
true.
love that you're like so confident in that. Like some women don't even like talk about it because they're like frowned upon, but you're like
I think
very
because they're
outward
worried about
and
getting judged.
this
Everybody
is who I
judge you.
am.
Everybody looks at you like you're an alien, and they all try to
Yeah.
come up with 1,000 reasons for you to have children. And I'm like, excellent. That's what you feel. Then you have it. Have 10.
Right.
Be my guest. I mean,
That's
people always say
crazy.
like, you don't want someone to look like you. No, you don't want to pass
That's
on
so
you.
selfish. That's
Yeah,
such a selfish
yeah.
statement.
No, I'm gonna tell you the worst selfish one because well, they also said like, don't you want to pass like your intelligence to somebody else? No. Do you want your family name to die with you? Yes. And then they're like, who's gonna take care of you when you're older? Me?
My retirement savings.
Exactly. And I mean, you can have
Yeah.
kids. You can have 10 kids. They can all be amazing. Still, probably they won't take care of you when you're older.
I know it's like 50-50 odds. You never know what you're going to get. It's scary, actually.
Well, I don't think it's that
Yeah.
high.
You think it's lower? Lower percentage. Honestly, it's very scary. I think personally, I want kids, but I do think it's like one of the scariest things that you'll ever do. And I think people just nonchalantly like, yeah, you should have kids or it's for everyone. It's like, no, it is not for everyone. And I think it should be like
It's
a
not.
more thought upon decision. It's very
It,
selfish. I think it's selfish to have kids, even though I want them.
you
It's a
can see them
personal want.
both ways. You can see it's selfish
Right.
not to have them, and it's selfish to have them. So I don't know,
I mean,
but
the universe is overpopulated. It'll be fine. The world would be fine without my kids.
exactly. Besides, climate change. If you
Yeah.
don't have a kid, oh man, it's like you're doing the whole world a huge favor.
A favor.
Because it's another
I know.
human being, another cardboard friend as big as yours, or even bigger because technology is changing. But they always come with excellent ideas for me to have kids. And I'm like, well, then
Yeah,
you go and have them yourself.
I know.
So what
That's
about marriage
crazy.
though? Have you changed your mind on marriage?
Marriage, I don't want to get married. I could live with somebody, you know?
Yeah.
But marriage, I
One
think
step.
I probably do it if I need it for financial reasons. Like you're gonna get a
That's
mortgage
interesting.
or you wanna get, I don't know, what can I get if I get married? What can I get? What can I get?
But you don't need to get married. You don't need that to validate your
Exactly. I don't need
relationship.
to get married. I mean, I'm gonna keep being happy even if I'm married or not. Because if I don't want to be married, that doesn't mean that I that I'm not sharing my life with another person. I have like a friend. Let's call him a friend,
I love
which
that.
This
Wait,
has
tell
been
us
a
more about
long
your
time
friend.
friend. A very
what?
A
long time
long
friend.
time friend.
Very long
Wait,
time
how
friend.
long?
Very long already.
Like over 2 years?
Over 2 years, yes. I think
That is not a friend.
it's a good friend. He's a
For the
good
It's a
Anita,
friend.
that's
really
a
good friend.
friend.
He's a good friend. But I mean, I share a lot of stuff with him. We do a lot of stuff. And even sometimes the possibility or living together has, come into conversation. I'm not
The
gonna say
fact that you
no to
guys aren't
that.
living together after 2 years, I know that's
You
you.
live by
Yeah,
yourself?
I
I live
know
by
that's
by
you.
myself, yes.
He lives by himself?
No, he lives with his mom because he brought his mom here also.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and he's been talking about for a long time living together or at least share keys.
Yeah.
And I said no.
After 2 years?
And I said no.
The,
I said no. And he hated me for it. He hated me for it. I said no. I don't want to share my keys. I don't know.
wait,
I
so I
said no.
have to ask then. I have to pry. What are you afraid of? Why don't you want to share your keys?
Well, good question. I really don't know. My mom calls me the runaway bride. She says that every
Yeah,
time that things get really serious,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just find
An excuse.
an excuse to get out.
Right.
So
That's
this
accurate.
guy is actually really lucky because I haven't found an excuse yet.
Until he
Wow.
pressures you, until he continues to pressure you, and you're like, I'm
After
out.
2 years.
I think he knows how to do it. He pressures me, and when he
And
see
then
I'm
backs
backing
off.
off, he, let go, and then comes like slowly, and I'm like, okay, slowly you can come in, and then he starts
Slowly, but
pressuring
not too
again.
fast, or I'm going to close.
Yeah, then he started pressuring again, and I'm like, let him get closer, but at the end I back up a little bit, and that he he's really smart, I have to say.
Is
He's
this a
this
dentist?
close.
He's a
He's
dentist,
this
right?
close of getting a key, okay?
He's really close.
Really close.
That's really, I mean, that's a scary thing. It's funny because you are like such an independent person. You can do the scariest thing, which is like leaving your country where you're comfortable and like start all over, but you can't give a guy your key.
I know, right?
Explain that logic to me.
It makes no sense.
Also, I'm gonna interject though. Her parents are divorced. I feel like this has to do with it, like
I don't think so.
mentally.
No, I don't think so.
I
Because
think
my
so.
my mom and dad have still the best relationship ever. And like my mom and her husband get along excellent with my dad and his wife.
Yeah.
So I don't think, because
Okay.
even since I was a little girl, that was never a problem. I
Yeah.
have no memory of being like, where's my dad? Where's my mom? Why are they not together? Never, ever. I mean, I think
Mm.
they had one of the most healthiest divorce ever in history,
Yeah.
because all the people that their parents are divorced do not share the same feelings that I do.
Right. They see a lot of like turmoil and
So I don't
a lot of
think that's
issues.
a reason for me being weird.
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
have
you
to.
just know what you want too. So
No, I'm gonna have to look at her birth
no.
chart. There has to be something
Her
100% in there.
astral
Oh my
chart.
God.
I love how Vanessa has to
Absolutely.
know there's an astrological explanation for why you don't want to be in a
Yeah.
Yeah.
committed relationship.
She's
Well,
just
the
so
thing is,
particular. She's
you
so
want to hear something
particular.
crazy? Very crazy. Like my mom is also a lot into astrology and
Well,
how do you
first of all, everyone knows that our entire family comes from a lineage of mediums. So let's continue.
exactly, exactly.
We'll go
Medium,
into that another
witches,
episode.
whatever you want to call it. But so my mom did like a reading of my what? Astral chart? How do you call it?
hmm
Yeah. And somehow something came up. I don't know how she read that in my past life, apparently I was a witch and they were chasing me and trying to like burn me down. But I had kids and they took my kids as punishment.
Oh,
And she said that probably is why I don't want to have kids, because I'd
in
suffer a
this life,
lot
yeah.
for giving
Yeah.
up my kids or something weird like that. And I was like,
Right.
fine, mom, if
Oh
that
my God.
explanation it's good enough for you, and then you can live happy that I
Solid.
don't want to have kids, I'll take it.
Oh
Oh my
my
God, I need her to do
gosh.
mine. I want to know what my past life
I know,
was.
I didn't know you
Yeah.
could do past life. My grandma does like blocks, right? So like if you have like a block in whatever house you have, she can like clear the block. She's never done like past lives. That sounds intense.
Well, your grandma does that?
Yeah. So like I
Eliana,
always
let me also
my grandma
interject.
too.
Eliana is from Valencia.
Yeah, I'm
Ah,
from
sí.
Valencia.
Pues no,
Yes.
I need your grandma to unblock my money house or
Yeah,
whatever.
and your relationship. Oh, your money. Oh no, I'm telling you. Okay, like I don't want people to think that I don't believe in working hard because you need to work hard. But I'm telling you, my grandma for the longest time in our job, when I tell you I would try so hard. I was like working so hard and it's like nothing was working. She did like her whatever she does, her little cleanse and like takes away the block that you have. I'm telling you, like it's just been like money has just been flowing into my life since then.
First of all,
And
Eliana's
I'm
I
just
need
grandma,
like,
that.
please. Eliana's grandma,
yeah,
attention, please. If you're listening to this podcast, I need that cleanse.
yeah.
I need that
I'm
cleanse in my
telling you.
money house.
I'm
Your
gonna
second
I'm
house.
gonna I'm gonna ask her. I've been telling her, I'm like, you need to start like reaching out to people. I'm like, you actually like are so good.
Yes.
I literally call her for everything. I'm like, something's not right. She's done it for everything. My relationship, my love life,
I need
everything.
your grandma in my life.
Seriously, so do
I
I.
know. Oh my gosh. So we have to go back to the dating. So what was the hardest part of dating in New York? Because I feel like that's like that's a whole different thing.
But I mean, I don't have like something to compare it to, because in Venezuela, dating is different from here. So I don't know. And the guys that I met here, they were really like normal guys. I mean, because people
Normal.
always have like crazy stories from New York, from dating in New York. I
Yeah.
think I don't have any, because one guy I met him like at a club. The other one I
Normal.
met him in a bar. The
Again,
other one
normal.
I met him at a grocery store.
Oh, that's so cute. Wait, what? Everyone dreams of meeting someone at the grocery store.
Whoa, shut up. Listen to this one. I met another one at the New York City Public Library.
What? That's weird.
I
Also,
was
what are you
there.
doing at a library?
I was studying for my stupid steps for the board.
Okay.
I
Okay.
like I was working, got off work, went to the library, was just studying there, blah 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 blah, do my stuff. And then this guy is like dead on looking at me. And I was like, what? I was like, this has to be a psycho. So I kept on studying, and he switched places in his table, like a table closer to me. And he kept on looking at me.
That's not creepy.
And I was like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm grabbing my stuff and I'm leaving.
Oh my
So I
God.
start gathering my stuff, and this guy comes up to me and he says, look, I'm really sorry. I know you noticed that I was like looking at you. I was doing a drawing of you, and he hands me the drawing.
Oh my God, my heart.
And I was like, okay,
Wait, he's an artist? My
yes.
boyfriend's an artist. I have a
And
soft
he was
spot.
like, I don't want to sound creepy. I see you're like gathering your stuff. Like, do you want to go get coffee? And I was like, I have to go
Was the
home.
drawing
Like,
good?
yeah, he does kind of a different type of drawing, not like portraits or anything like that. He is very like impressionist, and he only does it like in gray shades.
Like quick sketch.
Uh-huh. But he has like
Oh
different markers where they're all gray and like black and white.
my God, I
And then
love that.
yeah, and then I didn't like, I was like, no, sorry, like I'm in a hurry. Freaking weirdo. I wanna like get out of here. I don't wanna die. Thank you. And I left, and then I was like, waiting for the light to change to cross the street, and he was like, "Are you gonna be here tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Crazy." And I was like, "Yes, I'm gonna be here tomorrow." He was like, "Same time?" And I was like, "Yeah, same time." So the next day I go there
Oh
and
my
I
God.
didn't see him. I sat on the main reading room. I was studying again, and then he got there like 30 minutes after I got there, and then he was like, "I got you chocolate," and I'm like, "This must be poison or something," and I was like, "Okay, thank you." And then he was like, "Do you mind if I sit next to you while you study? I'm just gonna draw the library ceiling," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So he did that, and then after a while, he started, like, "Look, what do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a doctor." And he was like, "Oh, so cool." And I was like, "What do you do?" And he was like, "I live in Austria, and I come here like for 3 months at a time, and all I do is sketching." I had like a gallery showing of my drawings, and I was like,
What?
and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And he was like, "Yeah, I also do photography." And then like a couple people like next to us were like, "Shh." Like, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. And then he
Sorry,
was
we're
like,
flirting.
"Do you wanna have like something to eat?" And I'm like, "No, but I can like have a drink." Okay, so we went out, had a drink. Then he asked for my number. I gave it to him. And then we had like 3 more dates or something like that. And then he had to go back to Austria.
Oh, sad.
And then he kept texting me through WhatsApp all the time he was like there. Then he came
Hmm.
back like 2 months and a half after. And he was like, "Hey, I just got to the city. Like, can we meet for dinner?" And I'm like, "Sure, cool."
Yeah.
And then we met for dinner at a place that he wanted. Then I went to a gallery that a friend of him was showing his artwork with him. And
Oh
then I
my
took him to
gosh.
eat Venezuelan food, of course. And he fell in
Yeah.
love, and I ditched him.
The minute he was like, "Ooh, I like this. I'm done."
Uh-huh.
Wait, that's such a New York thing. Like, "Oh, we went to an art gallery showing." Like, I
Yeah.
love that.
I just
Oh
have
my
one
gosh.
question. Was he short?
No, he was tall.
Wow, the first one ever.
Yeah, no, but he was still ugly. I like them ugly.
This
Oh
is
my
the.
gosh, that's
We
I
have
don't
I
want to be
an
can't.
inside
mean.
joke. In my family,
Don't
there's
say
an
ugly,
inside joke.
intriguing.
There's an inside joke in my family between Vanesita, her mom, and I. If I'm dating somebody, it has to be ugly.
Wait,
So when
why?
I
Wait,
say
explain
I'm
that.
dating somebody, they just ask, "How ugly is he?" And the first thing they
Wait, why?
demand is a picture. The first thing they demand is a picture.
That's so rude just to make fun
They're
of him.
usually they're usually short, and they're really like Danita is just so
Especially short,
beautiful.
no, Vanessa. That was
Are you
only
attracted to
one.
intelligence?
It was
Really,
only one that was short. So stop with that. And
really,
that
there
was
was
the worst
no
one.
one else that was short.
No,
Why do I think there was another one that was short?
because you're always exaggerating everything.
Accurate.
No,
That's the most accurate statement I've heard
no.
today.
It was
I
only
thought they
one
were
that
all
was short.
short.
They were all ugly, but there was only one that was short.
Um,
Oh my God. So maybe that's why you haven't committed. You just haven't found the nicest one, like the most good looking one.
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
say because they were nice. They were all nice.
Aw. Well, you need a
It-
balance. You can't have too
yeah.
nice. It needs to be balanced.
Oh, the one that I'm dating
I
is
don't
nice
know.
too.
I feel like you're gonna pull a Courtney.
I haven't
You're gonna like
seen
get
the one that you're
married at
dating
like 40
because
or
you don't
50.
even show me.
Exactly. Courtney's doing it right now. That's what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm in love
Exactly.
like
I
I'm
see that in your future.
15. Or something like that.
I literally see that in your future, but it's okay. We'll
Well, tell
see.
your grandma to clean my things. My
I will.
commitment issues thing, clean it. Eliana's grandma. And
Okay.
then my money.
The one that you're
She's
with
gonna get
now,
paid.
he's the dentist, right? Is that the dentist?
Yeah, the dentist.
Okay, I've never seen a picture of
How did
him.
you meet the dentist?
I met him in Venezuela. I date him in
Oh,
Venezuela.
wow.
I just
Wait,
recycled him
What?
back.
Oh, okay. You
that's
brought him back from the
insane.
bench. Wow.
Exactly. He was at the bench, and I was like, "You next to the field."
I love Oh gosh, I love that.
How
I
scandalous.
wish I could live vicariously through you. I'm in a committed relationship, but I also love being single, and I just feel like it's so much fun. And I feel
I
like in New
did
York,
that.
like it's just like
Committed
the apple is
relationship.
here.
I did that long time, like 10 years.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's a
Yeah,
long time.
I did that. And then after that, I did a 5 year. I did that. Been there, done that.
Wait, so you have committed? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But then they showed me the ring, and then bye.
Oh my gosh. See, that's also scary. I feel like you just like starting over then.
I was
Like,
very young. I was very young with the first one, I have to say. Like I was 16, he
Mm.
was 20, and then I was 26, and he was like, "Let's get married." And I was like, "How about no?"
Yeah, when you're that young.
Well, who
That's
knows? Some
crazy.
people get married at 20 and they do good,
That's true.
or
Yeah.
they do horribly, but
I would say
It
if
just
I come back
depends.
in,
It just
my
depends.
next life, I want to be her. Just
you
live
want to be
vicariously
me?
through her. Yeah, I would say
Aww,
that. Because you're
you're
just
so
like
sweet.
so, you just like, you could literally just do anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so in my head, and she's like the opposite. She's like, all right, let's do it. Like, let's go.
Because
Like, it's just,
I think like the main issue people have is that they're always worried about what everybody's gonna think of them. If I do this, if I don't do that, if I do,
Hmm.
I don't care. I don't have
yeah.
to explain it to anybody. Nobody's gonna be me. Nobody's gonna live with my decisions.
That's so
So,
true. Wait, can
I
you
need to
say
learn
that
that.
again? No one
I
is
know, I'm
gonna
like,
live
I
with
need
your
to learn.
decisions but you.
exactly.
Exactly.
So I'm not gonna make a life for everybody to be happy about what I did if I'm not happy myself. So if something it's not for me, or I don't feel it's for me, or I don't like to do it, I won't do it.
I'm taking
Exactly.
notes. I'm taking
I'm
notes.
like, Vanessa, are you listening to this?
I know.
Vanessa, I feel like we just had this conversation, but
I know.
that's
Yeah, but
awesome.
people are all the time just thinking like, what is my mom gonna say about me if I do this? What
Yep.
is I don't know, my partner gonna say if I do this, my friends, etc., etc. And I'm like, look, if it makes me happy, then you should be happy for me.
That's so
Mm.
true. Well, I mean, you kind of answered my next question. I was going to ask you what would be the best advice you would give like your younger self? But I feel like you kind of already answered that.
Yeah, I mean, yes, because when I was younger, I did that. Like I worry a lot about other people judgment or what would they think. I don't know, but it's like when you're in high school, if somebody says anything about you, like gossip or whatever, you think it's the end of the world and you feel like my
Mm-hmm.
life is over, my life is ruined. And I think back at those moments and I'm like, that's so stupid. Like I was so worried about this
Yeah.
and it has no meaning in my life now. And
Yeah.
then the first time that you do something that everybody is telling you, like, you shouldn't do that, like, it's gonna blow in your face. And then you do it and it goes good. And you're like, I should only listen to me. I can take the advices of everybody because they're supposed to want mm, good things for me. But I'm just gonna take everything, with a pair of tweezers. Like, this works for
Mm-hmm.
me, this doesn't, so I don't take it. And at the end, just do whatever it's gonna make you happy. Because you're gonna have to live with yourself for the rest of your life, but they won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really, really good advice that I feel like a lot of people need to listen to,
Thank
especially
you.
nowadays.
Thank you. My
Yeah.
Venmo is no,
No.
I'm lying.
So you can cash up Diana for her tips
Yeah,
today.
exactly. I will give you tips in life, not judgment attached.
I
I
love
love
it.
this. I feel like we're gonna need to bring you back on for another episode for
I
you to
know.
update us on your love
I will
life and where you
totally
are.
come back whenever you want.
I love this. We can do our like monthly Diana chats.
My
So, okay,
lips still
Diana,
move.
where can our listeners find you
Yes.
online?
Oh my
What do
God.
you do
They can
online? Are
find me
you
on Twitter.
obscure?
Like I ran a lot on Twitter.
What? Why
You
did I
love
know
you're on
this?
Twitter? We're
I
not
had
even
to
on Twitter.
erase some posts. I had to erase some tweets because they were crazy. So,
Oh
but
my God, I'm
yes,
getting
Wait,
on
I
Twitter.
love
I'm
that. I'm
getting on
gonna follow
Twitter
you. I'm following
just
you on
for this.
Twitter.
I'm doing it right
Wait,
now.
so
I
if
will.
you want, share,
Yeah, you can
give
follow
us
me
your
on.
Twitter right now.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. My Twitter, my Instagram, and wait for it, Vanesita. My TikTok. They're
What?
all
I love it.
yes.
Yes. Wait, I
They're
knew we
all
were
the
gonna be
same.
friends.
Wow. First of
Okay, give
all,
your
wow.
handle. Give your handle to our listeners.
All
Oh
of your
well,
handles.
you have it, Vanesita. It's Didi CPC.
Is that for all of them?
DIDICPC.
DIGICPC. You heard it,
Yep.
guys. You can
And
find Diana on
is
all
that on
platforms.
Twitter as
Go
well?
and
And
follow
on
me in all social media.
I
I love
love
this.
her.
I'm so excited right now.
I love it.
And then
First
I'll
of
give you
all.
my Cash App or my Venmo.
Yeah. Send her money because we need the cash flow to start today. We're
Yeah,
manifesting
please.
more money.
Eliana's
Seriously.
grandmother is gonna help me with that guy, so please. In the
Yeah.
meantime, you can do me a favor.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So much for
Yes.
being on our podcast because you're
Yeah,
amazing.
you're welcome, guys.
And
The honor was mine.
and yeah, and I knew that having you on was going to be the best thing ever. So thankfully, Eliana reminded me because if not, I would have
Hopefully,
forgotten.
I live
I'm
to
done.
Eliana's expectations.
Yes,
Oh
you did.
yeah.
And more. You're even more lively than I thought you would be. You're like super fun
Oh,
and like we
so
need to do a
Vanesita,
trip
you're
to New
not doing a
York.
great job then. Follow me,
All
follow
right.
me.
Thank you
Amazing.
so much. I love you
Thank
as
you, girls.
always.
You're amazing. It was fun.
Yay.
All right.
All
We'll
right.
catch you in the
We'll
next
see you
podcast,
guys.
guys.
We'll see you next week. Bye.